Well, welcome back to the farm. It's egg washing day. As you can see, this is about a week's worth of eggs. A few words here about egg washing before we get started. It's actually better not to wash your eggs. When the hen lays it, she puts, it's called bloom, and it actually kind of seals that porous shell. We do have something we do to help contend with washing them, but being wintertime, it's muddy out in the coop area, so the hens get dirty feet, and then they crawl in nest boxes and gets the eggs dirty. We actually have customers that don't like their eggs washed, and during regular season when it's not quite so muddy, we try not to wash any more than we just absolutely have to. So let's get started here. We actually use an all-natural egg wash. In warm water, you want to keep the water fairly warm, at least 20 degrees warmer than the eggshells themselves. And some people say too that you shouldn't soak your eggs, but we don't let them soak any longer than we have to. We'll put about 3 capfuls in a sink. And we just start adding the eggs. Now the nice thing about the chicken eggs is they do lay in a nest box, and we put straw in our nest boxes. So they're not really that dirty, but they do have straw stuck to them and other things. Whereas the ducks lay wherever they want, usually out on bare ground. So those we have to scrub a little more. So let me get these put in, and we'll come back to you when we get these all put in. Now the eggs have been soaking, maybe 3-4 minutes. I like to just run a little bit of water, basically to rinse with. And just start scrubbing. They actually wipe clean pretty well. It's just a matter of time to get through them. Some of the stubborn spots you do have to scrub a little bit. It's still not near as bad as the duck eggs. And this here again is warm water. Because what happens if you don't use warm water, the pores in the shells actually will open and draw in, thus contaminating the egg inside. And we don't want that to happen. These are all chicken eggs. I try to do the duck eggs separate because, like I said, they do take quite a bit more cleaning. Actually have to scrub them with a scratch pad. And it leaves all of the eggs in soaking too long, so I'll do those after I do all the chicken eggs. Probably got somewhere between 10 and 15 dozen chicken eggs. Well, there's no reason for you guys to sit here and watch me wash all these eggs. It get quite boring. I'll finish these up and come back to you when I get them all done. Well, I got all the chicken eggs done. They're sitting out here drying. Now it's time to start the duck eggs. I've already had them soaking. The only difference that I do with the duck eggs is because they're a little dirtier, I put a little more of the all-natural cleaning chemical in, and I use a Scotch-Brite pad to scrub them. They have to be scrubbed. The nice thing about the duck eggs is we don't have as many ducks as we do chickens, so there's not quite as many eggs to have to wash. And the duck eggs actually have a harder shell, so you can actually be a little rougher with them. Once I get the duck eggs done, I will let them all dry for a time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, just to make sure they're all good and dry before we go on to the next step. In some countries, it's actually illegal to sell washed eggs. And also in some countries, they're not allowed to refrigerate their eggs. Okay, I'll finish up these duck eggs and get back to you when I'm ready for the next step. Well, I got all the duck eggs finished and everything's had time to dry. Like I said earlier in the video, when you wash the egg, you take the natural bloom that the hen puts on it that protects it, that makes that shell not absorb anything. So what we do is we kind of put that bloom back on using simple vegetable oil. Really simple process. I don't know many people that take this extra step, but it actually adds to the eggs and helps keep them longer. And basically just kind of run them through, reapply some oil as needed. And we do all of our eggs this way. It also kind of gives them kind of a shiny coat, brings out some of the natural colors in the eggs. And chicken eggs are kind of porous, and you can feel as you're rubbing them down. Duck eggs have a totally different feel. So even if our ducks didn't lay white eggs, we'd be able to tell the difference apart just by the way they feel, because they're just smoother. We actually keep two different types of chickens in our laying flock. We keep a black copper Moran, which they lay this nice dark brown egg. And then we keep silver laced Wyandottes, which lay kind of a lighter brown egg. Now we do change our flock out. Laying hens starts declining at about 2 years of laying, so we do switch our laying flock out. We try to have it set up so that we only trade out half the flock every year, and the way we kind of keep track of that is we try to do different colored hens. In the past we've done Buff Orpingtons, which lay a nice light brown egg. Okay, let me finish up these eggs and we'll get back to you when we've got all of these done. Well, there you have it. They're all done. Ended up with 16 dozen chicken eggs and not quite 3 dozen duck eggs. Well, thanks for joining me today on this egg washing day. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next video.